Hello everyone, welcome to Tathastu ICS. The prelims is just round the corner and there are some important conferences of the climate change and the climate related conferences which become very important for all the aspirants who are giving the prelims this year. तो जो भी 2026 में अटेम्प्ट दे रहे हैं एक बार आपको इन इम्पोर्टेंट कॉन्फ्रेंसेस को देखना है, जस्ट गो थ्रू देम वंस. So this is a list of all the conferences that are important for your upcoming prelims, right? So we'll just quickly see all of them one by one. So the first one being the IUCN World Conservation Congress 2025. So this Congress of IUCN, that is the International Union for Conservation of Nature, right? This was held in Abu Dhabi with the ambitious vision for the conservation of nature, right? Some of the important takeaways from this Congress was number one, the adoption of the Unite for Nature on the path to 2045, which was a 20-year plan or a strategic vision. Abu Dhabi has called to action of 5 areas. 5 major areas have been highlighted: well-being, multilateralism, justice, inclusion, knowledge, innovation, resource scaling. Over 100 new members have been added, including Armenia, Tajikistan. Need not to remember all the countries, but just have an idea. First motion was put here for just phase out of the fossil fuels was adopted. Wild animals have been recognized as the climate allies this time. And one more thing that is important, first World Summit on Indigenous People and Nature was held. These are some of the important points. Along with that, India had released its National Red List Roadmap Vision of 2025 to 2030, whereby India will be assessing the 11,000 species, approximately 11,000 species का assessment किया जाएगा, both flora and fauna, during this period by the year 2030, and this has been this vision has been made with the combined efforts of Zoological Survey of India, Botanical Survey of India and the IUCN India. So IUCN Congress of 2025 held in Abu Dhabi, and the key highlights. Coming to the next one, that is International Big Cat Alliance. So India and the International Big Cat Alliance, that is IBCA, have signed an agreement to host its headquarters, right? So we all know that this IBCA was launched in 2023. Project Tiger ko jab 50 years complete hue, it was initiative of India only and with our honorable PM, right? And it is talking about the conservation of the big cats, 7 big cats, right? And out of these 7 big cats, 5 are found in India. The 2 of them which are not found in India are very important. That's jaguar and puma. Okay, so it's a basically it's a coalition of the countries which are the big cat range countries, along with non-range countries are also there, 96 of them, and it's open to all. And to be more updated, India will be hosting the first IBCA summit in June. So June 1st and 2nd we will be having it in New Delhi. So New Delhi में summit होने वाला है IBCA का, right? And India has signed an headquarter agreement to host the IBCA secretariat. It was launched in 2023. That becomes important. It was implemented via the NTCA, right? And focuses on the 7 big cats. Out of them, the 2 marked in red, that's jaguar and puma, that's not found in India. So just be careful of that. Members are of course many, but these are the founding member countries. Okay, so just revise all the basics of the tigers, lions. UPSC ने पहले भी questions पूछा है, and cheetah is also becoming important after the cheetah reintroduction program. So all of these species are very crucial for us. Coming to the next one, that is the UN High Seas Treaty. So UN High Seas Treaty clears the ratification threshold. Ratification threshold clear hua when 60 members have ratified it. It was ratified by 60 countries to enter into the force in January. So that is High Seas Treaty, that is the BBNJ Treaty, which is also known as which talks about the conservation of biodiversity beyond natural jurisdiction, right? So it talks about the conservation of the high seas, right? Because these high seas are areas which are beyond our exclusive economic zone, beyond the 200 nautical miles. That is a place where no country is having any authority, राइट, एंड दीज एरियाज आर वेरी क्रूशियल. तो इन एरियाज को बचाना बहुत जरूरी है बिकॉज बहुत सारे मेरीन रिसोर्सेज एंड ओशनिक रिसोर्सेज आर ऑल्सो देयर. Right, so for this we have this treaty and it is under the UN clause framework, that is the United Nations Convention law on of oceans. Right, so just go through that once, and focus is conservation beyond the exclusive economic zone, and in India it is being implemented by Ministry of Earth Science from India's side, but India has not ratified it. So that is important that India has not ratified, and this treaty is open to all non-UN clause members also. So it is open for all of them. So that is UN Convention on Law of Sea, UN clause, right? Then coming to the next one, a very famous topic of for UPSC, the Ramsar Convention. We all know the Ramsar Convention for the conservation of wetlands, specifically the wetlands of international importance जो हमारे रामसर लिस्ट के अंदर आते हैं. And as of now, as of 2026 May today, we are having 99 Ramsar sites in India, and the latest addition you all must be knowing, that is the Shekha Jheel of UP. उससे पहले जो हमारे additions हुए, for example we had Patna Bird Sanctuary, that was also in UP. We had Chari Dhand, that was in Kutch of Gujarat, and before that also we had some of the additions. So in total आज की डेट में इंडिया में we have 99 Ramsar sites. Okay, and these Ramsar sites are important. Why? Because wetlands act as carbon sinks. Wetland help in providing lot of biodiversity. They are ecotone regions, तो वहां पर बहुत ज्यादा biodiversity thrive करती है, livelihood मिलता है, carbon sink का काम करते हैं. They act as filters of for the water pollution, and these are some of the importance of the wetlands. Along with that, the COP15, the Conference of Parties 15 of Ramsar Convention, it was held at Victoria Falls, Zimbabwe. Okay, and the theme was protecting the wetlands for our common future. This becomes important, attended by 172 contracting parties. And here what was important, India का एक resolution था on sustainable lifestyle that was adopted. Of course, the Ramsar Convention अपने आप में ही बात करता है of wise use of wetlands. Wise use का मतलब क्या है? That we have to use these wetlands in a manner that it does not change their ecological character, and it is, we are using this area sustainably, right? And along with that, you need to know that UK is the country that is having the highest number of Ramsar sites, followed by Mexico, and then on the third we have India. So India is at the third level with the number of Ramsar sites. And if we see in Asia, Asia के अंदर India is the one country which is having the highest number of Ramsar sites. Along with that, you need to know that there are two sites of the under the Montreal Accord. Montreal Accord क्या है? Those Ramsar sites which are having any kind of ecological damage or change that is happening or that has occurred because of human intervention or encroachment, they are put under the Montreal Accord. So that's a special register under the Ramsar Convention. So from India, we have two sites, Keoladeo in Rajasthan, Keoladeo National Park, and then we have the Loktak Lake of Manipur. Chilika Lake, already it was there, but it had been removed. So all of these basics need to be revised. Along with that, just revise the states which are having only one wetland, any one Ramsar site. For example, झारखंड में उधवा लेक को ऐड करा गया, कोपरा रिजर्वॉयर छत्तीसगढ़ में ऐड हुआ. सो कुछ ऐसे स्टेट्स जहां पर पहले रामसर साइट्स नहीं थी, प्लीज फोकस ऑन दैट. राइट, लेट्स मूव अहेड. द नेक्स्ट वन इज United Nations Forum on Forests. So India had actively participated in the 20th session of the United Nations Forum on Forests. This was held at the United Nations headquarters only in New York City from 5th to 9th of May. UNF is a functional commission under United Nations Economic and Social Council. This is important. And what is the objective of this forum? Promote management, conservation, sustainable development of all types of forests. So this term becomes important. Of course, नाम से समझ आ रहा है forest के management की बात कर रहा है, but it is covering all types of forests. right? It works with a collaborative effort with different institutes. For example, it works in coexistence with the Food and Agricultural Organization, United Nations Environment Program, that is UNEP. Then you have the UNDP and World Bank, and the universal membership including all UN member state is there. So that is a framework on forest. So this becomes important. India ने भी इसको attend किया था. Coming to the next one, that is United Nations Ocean Conference 2025. So United Nations Ocean Conference kahan hua? Nice, that is in France. There it was conducted. So a high level global summit convened by the United Nations, and we all know that SDG 14 is talking about the conservation and sustainable use of the oceans and the water resources, and this year's theme was accelerating the action and mobilizing all factors to conserve the sustainable use of ocean. So this was the theme for the previous year or the recent year, right? Coming to the next one, that is UNFCCC COP30, that we have exhaustively covered in the class. United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, uska jo conference of parties, that was COP30, that had held, right, in Belém, Brazil, right? We have covered it exhaustively earlier, but what you need to understand and remember are the important outcomes of this Belém summit or the Belém COP, right? यहाँ से UPSC बार-बार question पूछ रहा है, ठीक है? So it was the adoption of the Belém package was done. There were major outcomes, for example, Global Meteoro Agreement, Global Meteoro Platform, that was a digital platform launched for climate action, Just Transition Mechanism, right? Global Implementation Tracker and Belém mission to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Then what is more important is there is a Belém Health Action Plan, right, which is talking about building up climate resilient health system, because आज की डेट में जो challenges आ रहे हैं health related, that are more because of climate change के impact की वजह से जो भी health disorders या health related issues आ रहे हैं. Then another important thing that you need to remember is the TFFF, that is the Tropical Forest Forever facility, where incentives will be given for the tropical forest conservation. So these two are the important one, and of course Belém 4X pledge, quadruple the sustainable fuel use by 2035. All of these are the important outcomes, including the Belém gender plan. So just quickly revise all of these facts about the COP30. Then coming to the next one is the Montreal Protocol. So another COP or for the Montreal Protocol was held, that was in Nairobi, Kenya from 3rd to 7th November 2025, right? Montreal Protocol, we all know that it is for the ozone depleting substances, right? So all the ozone depleting substances that are used in our refrigerants, air conditioners and all the other chemicals that we are using, right? So we had the Vienna Convention के बाद हम लोग लेकर आए Montreal Protocol, and Montreal Protocol के बाद हम लोगों ने उसके अंदर कुछ amendments भी लेकर आए थे, where we had brought in to reduce the impact of the HFCs, ठीक है, to phase down the use of hydrofluorocarbons, right? Because in place of CFCs we had brought the HFCs, but HFCs were not ozone depleting substances, but they were the potent greenhouse gases, and they were having a more global warming potential, ठीक है? So that became a problem for us, and now we are having a phase down approach for them. So you need to know that just the basics of this, that MOP 30 Montreal Protocol 37, the summit was happened, and where it was happening, that was in Nairobi, Kenya, it was held, okay? And this is one of the treaties that has protocol that has received universal ratification. Next one is COP6 of the Minamata Convention. Minamata Convention 2023, we already had a question in prelims from mercury pollution. Mercury pollution पे 2023 में UPSC has already asked a question. So 6th meeting of the Conference of Parties to the Minamata Convention on Mercury was held in Geneva in Switzerland, right? So Minamata Convention, of course, it's for reducing the mercury pollution only. It's a collaborative effort, right? And it focuses on the mercury which is released from human activities. This is important. mercury is also released from natural sources. For example, volcanic eruptions में से भी mercury release होता है, and from ocean emissions also mercury is released. But here the anthropogenic emission of mercury are more important, and this convention is focusing on the anthropogenic sources of mercury pollution. For example, the mercury which is used in devices, in equipments, thermometers, it is used in dental amalgam, it is used in gold mining. All of these are the areas where mercury is being used. Now, in this conference, they have also talked about the mercury which is used in the skin lightening cosmetic products. तो वहाँ पर भी mercury use होता है, right? So it does not cover, this is important, that it does not cover the mercury which is coming from the natural emissions, right? Example, volcanoes, right? And it talks about banning on the new mercury mines, phase out the existing mercury mining, and reduce the mercury which is used in the products, industries, and small scale gold mining, right? And you all know that mercury is the metal which is very lethal, right? And it is deadly because of the Minamata Bay, the incident that happened in Minamata Bay. We have the name for the convention only. Mercury was converted into methyl mercury by some microbes, and this methyl mercury becomes very poisonous, and it is bioaccumulated in the bodies of the fishes and aquatic organisms, and when it is consumed by humans, it can lead to their death, right? So these are some of the basics of mercury pollution. So please just revise this, and 2023 you already had a question on the same topic. Coming to the next important conference that you need to focus upon is the BRS conventions, that is the Basel, Rotterdam and Stockholm Convention. These three conventions were, their conference of parties were held on the base, on side by side only, and all of them were held in Geneva, Switzerland. So COP 17 of Basel Convention and COP 12 of both the Rotterdam and Stockholm Convention were held in in Geneva, Switzerland. Okay, so Basel Convention on the control of transboundary movement of hazardous waste and their disposal, Rotterdam Convention which is on the prior informed consent for certain hazardous chemicals and pesticides, and then you all know Stockholm Convention, that is on persistent organic pollutants. All of these are the basics that we have already done in the class. What was new here? Number one, under the Basel Convention, what have been done? They have making more focus on POPs, that is persistent organic pollutants, and here this time they are also focusing more on the textile waste, the waste that is coming from the textile industry. तो उसके ऊपर बात करी गई. Second, they have developed a new framework for the year 2025 to 2031. Under the Rotterdam Convention, what all changes have been there? They have talked about, of course, there are 8 major hazardous chemicals that are there. Along with that, they have added a few more. For example, they have added carbosulfan, which is a pesticide, and they have also added phentheon in the list. In the Stockholm Convention, they have added number 1 in the Annex A, they have added chloropyrifos, which is a pesticide. They have also added long chain perfluorocarboxylic acids, PFCAs जिनको कहते हैं. PFCAs के ऊपर भी already UPSC has asked a question, and of course they have also added medium chain chlorinated paraffins. So these have been some of the modifications or the additions in the conventions list of the chemicals and the substances. So BRS convention, that is important, Basel, Rotterdam and Stockholm, right? So this becomes important. Next is the International Solar Alliance, right? So the International Solar Alliance, of course we all know the joint initiative of India and France. So we had the assembly of that. 8th assembly, ISA assembly was held in New Delhi. So this becomes important. We have also launched a new initiative, that is the Sunrise Initiative, and there have been MOUs by 16 small island developing states. Mauritius has been the first African country to sign a CPF, right? There are some important reports that are released by the ISA. First is the Ease of Doing Solar Report 2025 and Solar Trends of 2025. These are some of the important reports, right? Global Capability Center for Solar in India, and there has been a launch of a ISA, International Solar Academy, right? It's an AI based platform that has been launched. So all of these are the important initiatives at the 8th summit of the International Solar Alliance that was held in New Delhi in Bharat Mandapam. Coming to the next one, that is the last WHO Air Pollution Conference. So second global conference on air pollution and health that was held in Cartagena in the month of March 2025, right? And it was hosted by whom? WHO, the World Health Organization. What is the aim? Reduce the air pollution related deaths by 50% by year 2040. So this is the aim of this particular convention, of this conference. And this is the first one was held in Geneva, that was at the WHO headquarters, and this was the second one that was held. That's all. These are all the important climate conferences and other important environmental conferences for those students who are giving the prelims. Just revise your basics along with this the list of the conferences that we have discussed in the session, and I wish you all the very best for the upcoming prelims. Thank you very much. If you have any doubt, any query, you can please mention it in the comment box. Thank you very much.